So what really happened on that day in 1986? Thanks to the groundbreaking work of investigators, we now know that the official narrative and much of the news broadcast on that day was deeply misleading. Before we explain why they created such a hoax, here is a rundown of the surviving crew members. Number 1, Francis Richard Scobie, commander of the Challenger space shuttle. Born on May the 19th, 1939, Commander Francis Richard Scobie was 46 when he supposedly died in the Challenger explosion. He would be 75 years old if he were alive today. Strangely, there's a man also named Richard Scobie, the CEO of a Chicago marketing advertising company called Cows and Trees, who bears a striking resemblance, factoring in the 30-year time-lapse, to Commander Richard Scobie. Same high forehead, same eyebrows, same wide-set eyes that are slightly tilted down in their outer corners. The source of the pic on the right of CEO Richard Scobie is his LinkedIn page. If you go on the Cows and Trees website, you'll see an animation of a rocket-powered cow in the sky with swirling smoke shaped like the number 6, much like Space Shuttle Challenger as it was seen on TV exploding in midair.
Dick Scobie had a company called Cows and Trees, and when you went to his website, there was an animation of a cow taking off like a rocket with a smoke stream coming out of its backside, doing a twisty curl in the air that looked remarkably just like what we saw with the Challenger. And after we started making videos on that and it started going viral, that website disappeared, never to be seen again.
Wink wink, CEO Richard Scobie sure has a sense of humour. Number 2, Michael J. Smith, pilot of Challenger. Born on April the 30th, 1945, Challenger pilot Michael John Smith was 41 years old when he supposedly died in the explosion. There's a man also named Michael J. Smith who bears a striking resemblance to astronaut Michael J. Smith. Same horizontal eyebrows, same grey-blue eyes, same vertical indentation in the tip of his nose. This Michael J. Smith is a professor, retired, of industrial and systems engineering at the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
With former NASA astronaut Michael J. Smith, with the same name as this retired professor from the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Are you Michael Smith?
Yeah.
Professor at university?
Retired.
Retired?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just stopped by because there's this room. Are you aware of that? There's a rumor on the internet.
It's not me.
That people are saying.
Yeah, it's not me, obviously. I mean, anybody that looks at my background, looks where I was born, it's not me. I mean, it's interesting that the Michael J. Smith that was the astronaut looks something like me when we were younger, but really not if you really look at facial recognition.
You never been a pilot, never been in the military?
Nothing like that.
Huh.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I don't respond to the emails I get. I get probably an email, maybe 2 a month.
Really?
Yeah, and I got one guy that's been really hounding me, and I turned it over to the FBI.
Okay. Yeah, you just sure look a lot. It's the same name.
I know the facial thing, but that's what we looked like. What? 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Michael J. Smith, identical looks, dimples the same, teeth the same. There's really no denying it. And before he could finish the question, Michael denied it. Oh, that's not me, you know, and laughed it off. What's he going to say? Oh, you got me? Not going to happen.
The driveway footage of Michael J. Smith, that's real. I mean, that can't be a deep fake, you know. So at some point, you got to stop trusting liars.
We don't hide.
Astronaut Michael J. Smith would be 70 years old if he were alive today. Well, guess what? There just so happens to be a 69-year-old Michael J. Smith whose address includes Madison, Wisconsin. He's 74 on this Look Up Anyone list. Number 3, Ronald McNair, Challenger's mission specialist. Born on October the 21st, 1950, Challenger's mission specialist, Ronald McNair, the second African-American astronaut with a PhD in physics, would be 64 years old if he had not supposedly perished in the space shuttle explosion. If Ronald were still alive today, he would look just like this pic of his brother, Carl. Carl McNair is an author, education consultant, and inspirational speaker, and he just so happens to be the founder and president of the Ronald E. McNair Foundation.
Ronald McNair conveniently has a twin brother named Carl McNair who looks exactly like him and is at a lot of the events now, but was nowhere to be found when the explosion happened.
How convenient. Number 4, Ellison Onizuka, Challenger Mission Specialist. Another Challenger Mission Specialist, Ellison Onizuka, the first Japanese-American astronaut, also has a lookalike brother named Claude. Born on June 24th, 1946 in Hawaii, Ellison would be 68 years old today if he had not supposedly died in the Challenger explosion. If Ellison was still alive, he would look just like this pic of his younger brother, Claude. Same eyebrows, same eyes, same crow's feet wrinkles, same nose, even the same hair parting. Claude Onizuka is living out his days as a Liquor Adjudication Board member of the Department of Liquor Control, County of Hawaii, Hilo, Hawaii.
Ellison Onizuka. If you look at clips of him back in 1986 when this happened, he actually spoke like, every other word was,
Let me say that it's really a pleasure to be back.
If you look at clips of his brother, Claude, now speaking, it's the same exact thing. Every other word is,
But Ellison's dream is continued to be carried on.
I think we got some.
We're very fortunate that
I think we're ready to go fly. Thanks for being out here today.
His brother just so happens to be the spokesperson for the Challenger tragedy. Why aren't there any pictures of his brother back when this happened? Why didn't his brother speak at the funeral? Use your head.
Former Governor Ariyoshi, who has a story about a picture that survived the Challenger disaster.
Ellison Onizuka came to see me one day and he wanted a family photo. And he wanted to take it up on a Challenger and he's going to bring it back, inscribe it, and autograph it. But that Challenger accident happened and I felt very sorry to lose Ellison. But I didn't even think about the photo. I thought everything else must have been destroyed completely. About 2 months later, Lorna Onizuka called me and told me that they found in the water, NASA found the personal preference kit of Ellison Onizuka. And she said there were 2 things in there. One was a monk's prayer, and the other was his family portrait. So I told her, oh, then it must be in terrible condition because the astronauts, the big bang up and the ocean in the water for 2 months. She told me, no, it's in perfect condition. And she said, I'm going to bring the picture over to you and present it to you. And then in the meantime, NASA got the picture and they put this together for us.
Number 5, Judith Resnick, Challenger Mission Specialist. Born on April the 5th, 1949, Challenger Mission Specialist Judith Arlene Resnick, with a PhD in electrical engineering, was the first Jewish American astronaut to go into space and the second female American astronaut. She would be 66 years old today if she had not died in the explosion. Except if she is alive today, it's not difficult to imagine that after 29 years, astronaut Judith Resnick would look like Arthur Lyman Professor of Law Judith Resnick at Yale Law School. Dark curly hair, dark eyes, same eyebrow shape, same lines on both sides of the face extending up from the jaw. When you compare the voices and mannerisms of astronaut Judith Resnick and Professor Judith Resnick, the similarity becomes undeniable.
Former NASA astronaut Judith Resnick with an exact doppelganger working at Yale University. 37 years have passed and she hasn't even changed her name. Side by side, there's no denying it. When she's approached, she has a very odd way of not responding.
Hey, Judy? How you doing? I'm from the press. I just had a quick question, if you don't mind.
What press? I'm
from a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a conspiracy about the space shuttle. No, I want to be polite. Friendly, just a question. So there's a lot of rumors about you being on that space shuttle. Obviously, you know, if you want to comment, we would really appreciate it.
Kind of odd that Judith is in full panic mode when realizing the press is in her presence. She's no stranger to being in the spotlight. She even made her way into Hollywood for a quick cameo.
If the choice is to allow Americans to be taken as hostages or to be executed, I'll bring my own rope. Saddam backed down, and Ambassador Wilson helped thousands get safely home. When he himself came home to the United States, he was warmly greeted by our president, who took him to the Oval Office and introduced him to the War Cabinet as an American hero.
We looked through Ancestry.com's 241 death records for the last name Resnick, but we can't find the Social Security Death Index for astronaut Judith Resnick or any other Judith Resnick. Number 6, Sharon Krista McAuliffe, Challenger payload specialist. Born on September the 2nd, 1948, Sharon Krista McAuliffe was a social studies teacher at Concord High School in New Hampshire when she was selected from over 11,000 applicants to participate in the NASA Teacher in Space project. If Challenger had not exploded, she would be the first teacher in space. If she had not died in the Challenger disaster, McAuliffe would be 66 years old today. Well, there's a Sharon A. McAuliffe, an adjunct professor at Syracuse University College of Law, who kind of looks like an older astronaut McAuliffe, factoring in the 30 years time lapse. Look at the cowlick of hair, sweeping from the center of their hairlines to the left side of their foreheads.
So imagine you're at the launch of the Challenger. This is a historic moment and it blows up in midair. Whether you are personally related to somebody on there or don't know anybody, you're going to be a mess. This is an emotional, incredible scene. And CNN was reporting, and they told the cameraman, let's get a live shot of Krista's parents. And when they zoomed in on them, they were giggling, they were laughing, they were smiling. I don't know how you can put a smile on someone's face, even if you told them the funniest joke in the world at that very moment. Just look at their face. Is that the face of somebody whose daughter just blew up in the most horrific, violent accident ever? Or is that somebody playing a role, not knowing that they're on camera and thinking about the money that they may have gotten?
It may also be entirely coincidental that Syracuse law professor Sharon is a cousin of Terry McAuliffe, the current governor of Virginia, who was co-chairman of President Bill Clinton's 1996 re-election campaign and chairman of Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign. Terry McAuliffe, an advocate of gun control, is also very much concerned about NASA funding issues. In the end, we need to ask ourselves this question. It's one thing that one of Challenger's crew members resembles someone alive today. We could chalk that up to a coincidence. But it's another thing entirely that 6 members of the Challenger crew have doppelgangers who are alive and in some cases with exactly the same names. Richard Scobie, Michael J. Smith, Judith Resnick and Sharon McAuliffe, and are working at high levels in their original careers. What are the chances of that? You don't have to be a NASA boffin to know that those odds defy statistical probability.
And nobody could have predicted back in 1986 that in 30 some odd years from then that there would be something called the internet that would bring all this information to the tip of your fingers, and you'd be able to search through pictures, Facebooks, websites, profiles. Now these people are scared. They're hiding their profiles, they're deleting their websites, they're making their Facebooks private.
6 out of 7 have identical names. They work for universities, most of them.
There were no people in the Challenger. That was a hoax. That's been proven conclusively by researchers and reporters, investigators, who have found that those supposed people that were in the Challenger are still alive today.
We remember Dick Scobie, the commander who spoke the last words we heard from the Space Shuttle Challenger. We remember Michael Smith. We remember Judith Resnick. We remember Krista McAuliffe. We remember Ellison Onizuka. We remember Ronald McNair.
Kind of laughable, honestly. Exact doppelgangers existing in the world with the same names, and when confronted, they get very nervous and their stories begin to conflict and they have the same mannerisms. You know, it doesn't take a lot to put it together, honestly.